Hello and welcome to Trojan Talk. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. With me today is Dave Camwell, Diane Orlofsky, and Mark Walker, all here to talk about what we've got here in between us, a CD coming out by Dave here. Tell us a little about, before we get into why all of you are here, tell us about this CD and what we're talking about today.
Well, thank you for having us. And this is my new CD, Second Wind, that's coming out in December. And it features why we're all here. It features some of Troy's finest musical ensembles that are on the CD. And so a couple of the tracks are with Dr. Orlofsky's vocal group. And then we have a concerto as well that was with Dr. Walker's symphony band.
And let's talk about the CD here, recording process. Tell us about what folks can expect out of this CD, and then we'll bring Diane and Mark in and talk about their parts of the collaboration and how this all came about.
Well, I should say it came about largely funded by 2 grants, actually 3 grants from Troy University, which I'm very grateful for. But it was about an 18-month project, and really was recorded not just in Troy, but also parts of North Carolina, as well as Calgary, Alberta, Canada. So it's a wide-ranging geography of where the CD really came to be, and it's everything from works of Bach and Handel and Vivaldi from sort of all the way back when to some very modern works that were written within the last couple of years, and including one written just for me. And so it's a real sort of timescape from from the Baroque era to the present day. And so there's a lot of different sort of musical styles.
And let's talk about a little bit the collaboration here. We'll start down here with Mark and the symphony band. First off, Mark, just talk about the opportunity to have because the band's recorded in a lot of, you've had recordings over the years, but being a part of something like this and working with one of the instructors here at the university, just talk about this opportunity.
Well, this came about when Dave came to work here a couple of years ago. We had talked about collaborating on some various projects, and he happened to have this piece that included solo flute as well. So it's a concerto for flute, alto saxophone, and wind ensemble. And at the time, we had been invited to perform at the Southern Division of the College Band Directors National Association, which was a really prestigious opportunity for us. And so we decided to include that on the program and also perform a movement of that at our High School Seuss Festival in February. And it was terrific. I mean, it was a really complicated piece, very, very complex. Great fun to perform and great fun to listen to. And it was just a really neat opportunity to be able to collaborate with 2 soloists and in a concerto setting. And I thought it came out beautifully. You know, the performance down in Tampa, Florida at the conference was very, very good. And then we also had a recording session where we kind of cleaned it up a little bit and put some things back together with it, and I'm very happy with the results.
And had some experience before you went to the recording session of playing this piece and familiarity with it.
Oh, absolutely. Well, so, yeah, we spent I don't know, maybe 2.5 months with the piece. You know?
And several performances and lots of rehearsals, and
and it was really a lot of fun.
And let's talk about Diane now. This obviously, you're talking about 2 musical groups, but this was with the concert chorale. So you're talking about a singing group and performing with them. So Diane, talk about working with that, because you've dealt with some jazz before and singing with jazz ensembles. But talk about this kind of collaboration.
Well, this piece was really, really cool, and I had found it when I was researching songs about grace, because that was the theme of the concert, and I had put it away because it was kind of out there. It was with an improvised sax over top of the choir, and the choir was what we call wordless, and it was complex, and it was just a difficult piece, and I just didn't know what I felt about it. I gave it to Dave, and he went, "Oh yeah," and I said, "I don't know if we could do this." This was actually captured on the CD live at a concert that we had done, and so which was really cool. No time that we ever did it with him was it ever the same.
Oh, of course, with jazz, the improvisational aspect of it. And how was that, having different takes on it every single time?
Well, I think it was cool because you had 36 singers having to figure out what he was doing and then respond in real time to that together, which was real technically challenging, but you had to make it sound like it was free. And it's called Breath of Grace, basically, and so it had to sound that way.
Yeah, I mean, it was an absolute thrill for me. And I mean, as an improviser, obviously you want to be doing something different and authentic and interesting
Yeah.
to yourself.
And the
group.
reviewers seem to be responding to
Yeah.
the spontaneity of it and the beauty of it in some of their comments, so that's nice.
Yeah, it was just, I feel like it was like catching lightning in a bottle. It's
Yeah,
like,
really.
Sometimes it really works out great, and other times you're like, well, I was okay with this, and that.
Yeah,
This performance that we
It was a
had, I
great
think.
performance,
Yeah, we captured it, and I'm just so thankful that that we recorded it, and through the post-production elements, really made it beautiful, and it's a great addition to the
Well, it
series.
sounds interesting, and if anybody wants to hear this for themselves, when are they going to be able to get their hands on this?
Well, so the official release is December 13th, and there are some trailers through both my website and as well as Parma, which is the record company. So the simplest thing, all things basically go to my website, davecamwell.com, and there's lots of information about that. And certainly once December 13th happens, there'll be even more for people to check out. And of course, it'll be on all the streaming platforms as well. If you want a CD, I certainly have that too.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining us here today and talking about this CD. Looking forward to hearing some of the music myself. So thanks for joining us here today.
Thank you.
So,
Thanks, Aaron.
and thank you for joining us on today's edition of Trojan Talk.